What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 3 of the Bottom at Christmas Challenge here in Football Manager 2019. We're back, of course, here with Burnley, and well, today we have a tricky game. I'm almost in tears thinking about it, folks. We've got Man City at home. It's going to not be pretty, I don't think, but we're going to give it our all and see what we can grind out here. In terms of why I'm starting on the finances screen here, I'm starting on it because I think we need blooming money spending on this squad. I mean, the squad depth is pretty much non-existent at this point. The financial status is rich. We have 50 million in the bank. We have 22 million pounds transfer budget. We have a lot of deals ongoing right now. For not a massive amount of money, to be fair. You know, we're going to be, left over with a little bit of transfer budget if we were to make the signings we're going to make now. But these are just the beginning as far as signings are concerned, as far as I'm concerned. We need players. We need men in the side. Given the fact we've got £50 million in the bank, I'm fairly confident that once that's depleted a little bit through signings, we can ask the board for a bit more money and they're more than likely going to grant us it. I mean, you'd hope they would. You'd hope that the Burnley board is the kind of board that realise that actually we need money to survive in this division and they don't want to just see us kind of fall down into the Championship. It's kind of interesting because I feel like we have some good players, but we just lack that strength and depth that we need. A few players being suggested to us from MLS, which is kind of interesting. I'm not convinced that Josie Altidore is going to be the man, but Katai here, I mean, doesn't play any of the positions we play, so not going to be an option. Altidore, not wowed, going to be honest. Then we've got the two Dos Santoses. I mean, Jonathan Dos Santos is pretty good. He could be a very, very good centre mid option for us, but he is injury prone, and I don't need injuries right now. The other option is Giovanni Dos Santos. Kind of funny that they're both being suggested to us. You see, he could be a pretty good player in terms of he can play as a striker. Not convinced he'd be a great pressing forward or a great target man, which is what we're currently playing with. But equally, he could be a very, very good inverted winger. The issue is he's on £80,000 a week, and I don't have that kind of money to throw around. So as much as I appreciate those suggestions from our scouting team, they're not doing it for me. Would be the simple way of putting it. You can see Chris Wood has been named the Oceania Footballer of the Year. Maybe we should just sign all the Oceanic players. I mean, you play for Sundown. I mean, he looks okay. Jeremy Brockie. I mean, is this what it's come to? Is this really what it's come to? We're just going to sign a load of Oceanic players and hope that they're good. What's Guardiola saying about me? He says he doesn't really know what to expect. It's all part of the charm of football, apparently, coming to Turf Moor and spanking Burnley. Yes, that is the charm of football, folks. I really hope it doesn't come across that I'm selling Burnley short. I don't really hold an opinion of Burnley in real life as a football club. I'm not like Will Mackenzie on the In-Betweeners. But I will say that in terms of the hand that I've been dealt here, whilst we've got the money to change our hand, and maybe on the flop and the river, things are going to come our way. Ooh, our transfer budget has been raised from 12 million to 34 million. I mean, wasn't it 22 million before? I mean, it's now 34. They've given us money. Can I ask for an increased wage budget? I can't. That's unfortunate. I mean, the good news is that I can move the transfer budget into the wage budget. But with that extra transfer money, I'm now wondering if I should just go and try and make one or two massive signings instead of trying to add this squad kind of, strength and depth. LeCurry's got an injury blow. I mean, the backup right back we were going to sign has got a hip injury and is out for 3 to 4 months. So, yep, withdraw that transfer offer. That's a disaster. Danny Drinkwater, we finished scouting. Only 65% or 65 recommendation score. Casado, 65 as well. I'm not going to say only for him because I actually think he could be a very good pressing forward for us. I'm now wondering if Ben Woodburn's worth a punt. I mean, have we got any players who want to leave who we could offload? I know that's a weird thing to be wondering. I'm just wondering in terms of players who just don't play, if there's anyone. Jonathan Walters is wanted by some teams, and he is actually transfer listed. He's on 30 grand a week. I mean, if anyone wants to take him for free, you'd be doing us a favour. Okay, well, none of the signings that we're in the process of doing, although I can just ask for confirmation, can't I, on some of them? Actually, it's only Samuel that we can ask for confirmation on, but we still don't know how good he is based on the scout report, so we'll wait. I mean, I was hoping that we'd have some new faces in for this game. We don't. In terms of what we'll do, we'll play Lennon on the right and Gudmundsson on the left. Apparently, why is this red? Oh, because Man City are just really blooming good. I mean, that's nice to know, isn't it? I'm just thinking about how I want to approach things here, but I feel like we've just got to turn up and hope that we don't get spanked. I feel like that is the unfortunate mindset of coming here. We will start Wood for today's game. Condition is still a little bit of a concern. Therefore, still coming back from injury, so we're still without a centre mid on the bench. And Hendrick, bless him, now playing as a Mazzala, of course. He looks a bit tired. We'll hope that he can survive today. I was really hoping that Man City were going to be kind to us and rotate their team. They haven't. It's a very, very strong team. Aguero, Sané and Sterling, I'm a little bit scared of. I mean, we lost 3-0 to Leicester last game out. Apparently, Man City's form is 13th place. So they're out of form. So maybe we're playing them at a good time. Maybe this is where I write myself into Burnley folklore and we get the impossible result. Alternatively, and debatably the more likely option, is that we get spanked here and we forget about it as quickly as we can. But we're going to play cautiously. We're going to try and hit them on the break. Of course, at the end of last episode, we did change some of the roles within our team. Aaron Lennon, why is everyone who I love getting injured? I mean, we literally are now playing Jonathan Walters. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Can we get Sisto on the plane? Where's the plane? Walker, maraudering through. I mean, it's a good job we're not playing defensively as we missed 2 tackles on him. I mean, if he'd scored it, it's one of Kyle Walker's best goals of his career. The defending was absolutely... I mean, what is happening? What? This isn't even funny. I knew that this was going to be a challenge. And I knew that we were going to maybe have some issues. I mean, please don't be long-term injuries. We've just lost Gudmundsson and Aaron Lennon. At this point, Jonathan Walters is our only fit wide attacking midfielder. I was really hoping with this series we were going to go through, developing a tactic with a struggling side. It's a situation that I don't find myself in that often. This is a little out of my comfort zone when it comes to Football Manager. It's not very often that I take over a team. I don't tend to move around clubs in my saves. I have thought about doing a journeyman in the past, but immediately, right now it's just not on my radar. Although we've got a chance here. Wood. I mean, I'm just going to draw your attention to the stats. We're 40 minutes into this game. We've gone toe-to-toe with them. We've done okay. I mean, cue them now to score, but let it be known that this system, I think, can work against other teams. Just Man City are a bit good. But yeah, what I was going to say was, this save is very much out of my comfort zone. It's not a position I'm that familiar in. I'm not going to claim to be an expert at turning teams around. Bernardo Silva's just scored a wonder goal. But I was hoping that I would be able to find my feet. And I feel like we've not quite found them yet. And Football Manager just is kicking me whilst I'm down with all these injuries right now. Bernardo Silva, I want to hit skip. I don't want to watch it again. It was a lovely goal, to be fair. I've just realised, we have got Heaton in goal instead of Joe Hart. Jeff Hendrick's now got injured. It's a tight hand. I mean, I need to take him off to save his legs. But I don't have... Can any of my centre-backs... I mean, I've literally got to bring in Gibson, but I'm now wondering, can any of my centre-backs at all play centre-mid? Can anyone play centre-mid? Ben, can you... No. Maybe a little bit of a defensive mid. Tarkowski. I mean, orange. Awkward. That might be what we're turning to here. Gibson. We're literally going to... I can't believe this is what this has come to. Tarkowski, I'm sorry to do this to you, but I'm afraid... I need you to play defensive midfielder for us. What has our system become? How are we only 1-0 down? I mean, we've had 3 injuries in the first half. We have a small squad. As much as 34 million is going to do us a world of good, if these injuries are longer term injuries, I'm going to have to resort to budget options just so I have enough players to actually field a team. I'm half anticipating us to get more injuries in this game as well. It's not even like we're playing a super demanding of fitness system. You know, we're sitting off teams, we're standing off them. And yet we've had to make all 3 subs here. Otamendi, free header. Gibson gets it clear. I mean, they're not completely on top, although they are already having more chances than they did in the first half, City. Bernardo Silva drifts, not again, over this time. We've been spared. For a second I was thinking maybe we should make some attacking changes. No, can't make any changes. We've used all our subs. I mean, poor Tarkowski must think I'm off my rocker. Leroy Sané tucks it away, makes it 2-0. I don't know whether it's a laugh or cry. The fact that this is how I feel at episode 3 is a little bit concerning. I mean, maybe we're going to get sacked. Maybe this is just going to be a train wreck of a series from start to finish. That is sometimes just how it goes. But I do feel like I've been dealt a rather crap hand. I mean, we've got a set piece here. Charlie Taylor whips it in. Wood. I mean, score. Get us our first goal. Gibson's offside. Don't celebrate. You're offside, son. The good news is Brighton, who are in 17th, are losing 4-0 to Arsenal. So, silver linings. We're still, just as a reminder, we're still yet to score our first goal here at Burnley. The longer that goes on, the more concerned I will become. Lowton heads it clear to Delph. Oh my gosh, he's hit. How many times have they hit? They've hit the woodwork 3 times. The woodwork right now is doing a job for us, which is a tiny bit concerning that we're relying on it. Aguero's got grey hair. Interesting. Jonathan Walters, what attack, what a block, what a man. Oh my gosh, comfortably over. Heaton had it covered. I'm trying to find a positive here, and I guess the positive is it's only 2. And we've not had any more injuries since half-time. I will take that as a positive note. And Cardiff are losing 2-1. I mean, if this finishes 2-0, that's a great result against Man City, even at home. Teams like ours, they go to Man City and lose 6-0. You know, playing at home, they get embarrassed. I mean, 3-0 doesn't look as good, does it? They've scored. The ref should have blown it. It was 3 seconds of extra time that didn't need to be played. Bernardo Silva scored again. It was like the first one. We don't need... Skip it. I don't want to see it again. They're not going to score. They almost scored again. They almost made it 4. And completely... Then suddenly everything I said about how we'd done okay goes out the window. I'm not happy. I'm just... The players are getting annoyed with me now. That is a concern. Okay, Aaron Lennon. We can send him to a specialist. He's out for 6 to 7 weeks. That's a problem. Hendrick's injured, out for 1 to 2 days. I mean, we've had some offers for Jonathan Walters. I'm just gonna say yes to all of them. He's not good enough for us. Now, granted, with the current injury crisis, how long's Goodmanson out for? 2 to 4. With the current wide midfielder crisis, there's a debate to say that we do actually need him. But I'd rather sign a load of new players in the wide areas like we're currently doing than rely on Jonathan Walters. Like, don't get me wrong, he's not a bad player as a striker. But as a wide man, just 9 acceleration and 8 pace just isn't going to cut the mustard. 11 crossing as well as 12. He's just not a great wide man for the kind of system that we're playing. Whereas if we can get in Andy and if we can get in Sisto... 2 good wide players as far as I'm concerned. 2 players who I think can do the business for us. I mean, we've got Plymouth Argyle next in the FA Cup. That's winnable. This is where we get our first goals against Plymouth. I mean, if we lose to Plymouth, then we do start to panic. Brugman here is being recommended to us. Consistent. Relishes big matches. How's he done this year? 5 assists in Serie B. He's operating at a championship level, but he would still be our 3rd best defensive midfielder. That is concerning. In terms of adding another body, he'd do that for us. Will he get a work permit? He will, because he's part Italian. And Brexit hasn't happened yet. Did it just say he's friends with Torreira? I mean, maybe we're playing the long con here. Maybe we get him to talk to Torreira into joining us down the line. See, I do actually quite like him. As a deep line playmaker, could do a job for us. How would he do as a centre mid on defend? Box to box midfielder could do a job. Centre mid on defend. Not the best marking in the world, not the best positioning. I mean, if they only want like 3 or 4 million for him, in terms of adding in a centre mid, he might not be the worst option. Man, this is tricky. This is really, really hard. Just looking at the other players who are being suggested. I mean, we're being suggested Benteke. We're not that desperate yet. This is difficult, man. Like, with the current situation we have with our squad, like, we just need players. Can I loan Danny Drinkwater without paying his wages? They want all of his wages. I can't pay £120,000 a week for him. Lewis Holtby. There's a name I've not heard in a while. He's not the great. He's valued at 9 million. Who's available on the loan list? Is there any great players loan listed? More Danish players, anyone? More Danish players from Celta Vigo? Do we just sign the Danish national team? I mean, we can just loan him. But we can't afford the wages without... I guess we can rejig the current budgeting now a little bit to give us the wages that we need to bring in players. Sergej Samper could be a really good deep line playmaker for us. It's unfortunate that I'm kind of leaning away from using a deep line playmaker. But if you got him in, you'd almost feel like you have to. Deep line playmaker on defending might not be quite so good at. Do we need to pay any of his wages? £7,000 a week to loan him. Even just as a backup option, he might be not a bad player to call upon. This guy looks pretty good. Mijat Gakinovic. Interestingly, he's an inverted winger on the left. He looks pretty good. Is he Premier League quality? I feel like I'm settling for kind of players who are perhaps below the standard that I should be striving for the sake of getting players in. Which might not be like the worst idea given our current situation. Kyle Walker-Peters could be a good backup right back and left back. He could be the backup player we need. They only want £20,000 of his wages if he doesn't play, being paid as a backup option. So he could be the solution in terms of a backup fullback who can play right and on the left. I do actually quite like Kyle Walker-Peters as just a player in general. I think he's very, very good. Lille have Luis Arroyo available. So I wonder with Lille if we should try and get in Rafael Leao. I've seen a lot of people praise him quite a lot this year in FM. They do also have Nicolas Pepe as well, who's pretty good. And he could be the inverted winger that we need. Or he could just be the super pacey striker we need, but he's valued at 21 million. We can't afford him. We cannot afford him. I mean, who's just transfer listed in general? Is there any super standout players here? João Mario. He's a standout player. The wages might be a concern, as is the asking price of £25 million, which immediately puts him out of our budget, and we can't even loan him in. Bruma could be a very, very good pacey player. Can we bring him in on loan, Leipzig? They want all of his wages covered, and it's 66,000. Divock Origi's coming back from injury. I mean, do you bring in Origi as the striking option? Only valued at 5 million. So a few teams trying to get him at the end of his contract. We can't do that because we're an English side. His wage demands are going to be too high. Hernani, he's a pretty good wide man. Is he of the standard that we need? I mean, he's only valued at 3.2 million. In terms of just getting in another body, he might be worth it. Because, I mean, to be honest, the squad depth is actually really, really scarily bad. Like, genuinely. Like, Charlie Taylor is our second best left midfielder. And I would never play him at left midfielder. I don't think he's good enough going forward. Obviously, you've got Jonas Berg Gudmundsson as well. And then Ward is apparently the third best. Obviously, Gudmundsson is the first choice on the right. With us now having Lennon out for 2 months and Jonathan Waters. I mean, we need wide players. We need a new midfield, essentially. That's kind of the current challenge, is to get in a new midfield. Man, tricky. Really tricky. I don't want to play through too slowly, so I apologise to you guys watching. At the same time, I don't want to make the wrong decisions. I don't want to rush through things, but at the same time, I don't want to play through too slowly because I'm conscious that it can be a little boring to watch. But I need just players who are going to be good backups for us as much as anything. The good news is Walker Peters and Sampa look like they're both going to come in on very, very low wages. Casado set to join us. £3.6 million for him. I like this guy a lot. Consistent. I feel like he's not really been given a chance at Lazio. He's 30 years old, loads of experience. And it's not a massive fee for a player who adds some strength and depth in a much needed position. Hopefully his experience can serve us well. Apparently Peter Crouch is concerned about Casado. I'm going to ask Heaton to intervene because Heaton has really, really good kind of leadership and influence. Look at that. Look at that. Tommy Heaton now. And that's what we needed. Casado comes in. Immediately very, very highly rated. We've got Plymouth in 3 days. We'll probably have a few more signings before then, I'd like to think. Hernani, I want to lower your wages if I can. I'll lower the relegation release clause on him. Part of me, is it bad that part of me sat thinking, man, this Burnley side would be really interested if they got relegated to manage. I don't think I'd survive in the job if they got relegated, so I shouldn't really think that far ahead. Hernani looks good. We'll obviously wait for a scout report, but £3.2 million, considering the current situation we're in, is great. The fact that Jack Cork's injured is huge. Andy is going to join us. That's a good new addition. Versatile player, can play on the left and right hand side for less than £2 million as well. Value in the market. Immediately comes in and becomes our second best right mid. And we're going to train him to play on the left hand side as well. Because we may well need him to play there. You can see actually as a winger, he's very, very good. I do like him quite a bit. Sisto is finished being scouting. We should sign him whatever the price. I mean, we're doing that. Apparently Samuel would be a good signing at 68. A rating of 68. Works hard, good consistency. Doesn't love big matches. But he would be our fifth choice centre mid. And we need centre mids. And we're bringing him in for less than £1 million. So let's confirm that deal. And I like his hair. The hair is a bonus. So he's going to join us. I mean, some would call it panic transfers, and maybe it is a little bit, but ultimately we need players, don't we? We need players. Wait, we're already close to the registration limit here in the Premier League. Who have we got registered here? There's definitely more players than there needs to be, like, on this page, I swear. I mean, Jack Cork's out for 5 to 7 months. He's going to miss the rest of the season, so he can be removed. Jonathan Walters, you're on your way out, son, so you can leave. Didn't really think about the registration situation. We don't have a young squad, so as a result we have very few players who qualify in that young bracket. Bardsley is going to be replaced by Walker-Peters in the side. I think. Man, this is even harder than I thought because of the registration situation. As things stand, I only have one slot to register a player. I mean, in some ways, I need to sell Vidra. Maybe even unregister Crouch, whose contract's up at the end of the year. Who's valued super lowly? That's going to be an easy way to identify the players I maybe need to get rid of. Man, we are going to have players kick up a fuss here, aren't we, when we remove them? I've got to do it, though. Part of me wants to get rid of Vidra as well, because I don't think he's good enough for this level. Dwight McNeil here is the only player under 21 who we're signing. Oh, sorry, not that we're signing, who's even in the first team. I mean, yeah, Vidra's been poor for us. I'm going to see if we can shift him on. I feel like we need players who can play deeper. That does throw in an issue, though, when it comes to bringing in players, because most of these players are over the age. I'm hoping that Walker-Peters won't need to be registered. We've got Marko Petkovic coming in, but if we bring in Walker-Peters, we probably don't need him. Man. It's like a little brain teaser trying to work out what to do here. Sisto's set to join us for 8 million. That's a big fee. I'm hoping that he's going to be a man who becomes very, very big for us. Dwight McNeil is concerned about the arrival, mate. I mean, I like McNeil, but the issue is that you can only play striker, and he's not that good of a striker. Like, you look at his polygon. If I showed you that polygon in isolation, you would not say striker. At least I wouldn't say striker. He's just average everywhere and inconsistent. Heaton, resolve it, mate. You're like my wingman. Look at that. Heaton, love him. He's like Toussaint on Leon Live, where Toussaint, you just send him to anyone, he solves the problems. Heaton's the same. Just a great agony aunt. I think Sisto is a good signing option. Could we lose Heaton? No. No, we can't. What's you're currently on 42 grand. You want let's lower that. 45.5. But look, I'll give you a 4-year deal. You're loving it. Okay, he doesn't actually want the longer deal. Minor wage rise, but if it's going to keep him happy, I'm okay with that. Right, I'm telling Vidra that he's going to be able to shut up the press. At the same time, I'm offering him out and trying to move him on in the same breath. Defoe resumes full training. That's good news. I mean, it's not great in training, Vidra. I'm going to be honest. Also, I noticed Carl Jenkinson there has moved to a Korean side. Interesting. Sisto's injured. When did you get injured? Why didn't I notice that? A sports here for free. I mean, you guys are going to have noticed that and probably written about it in the comments. I didn't. This is the simple answer. I did not notice it, and it's a problem. I thought we'd solved a problem. I guess we haven't, have we? We haven't solved the problem. No one wants Vidra either. People want Ashley. I mean, apparently West Ham want Barnes. They're desperate. Oh, I mean, when everyone's fit, we're going to be okay in the wide area. But at the moment, we've got a little bit of an injury crisis. And by a little bit, I mean a bit of a big one. The good news is, though, we've got Jonathan Walters still, at least for now. So he's going to be able to play against Plymouth. And hopefully, by the Watford game, which is a massive relegation battle game, we're going to have some new players. Joe Hart wants to discuss lack of first team. I mean, Heaton, can you solve it? You can. Of course he can. Of course. Why am I even doubting him? Right. I've got to think a little bit tactically here. Right, because I need a confidence-building performance. Hendrick is very, very tired. So Mutisami, we'll call you Sammy for short. Just rolls off the tongue a little bit better. Sammy, mate, you are going to come in for Hendrick, because Hendrick's been asking for a rest for a while. Tarkovsky for Gibson. Bit of a rest there. Chris Wood, you know what? You can come out of the team. We're going to play Casado. He's going to get a debut against Plymouth Argyle. It's what he's always dreamed of. And I mean, Brady's back from suspension as well. Oh, Brady's back from suspension. That solves a little bit of a problem for us. Kind of. It solves the problem of I can actually play him instead of Walters on the right. So this is a little bit of a full-strength team. Also, it's using the old roles from before we changed some things. Let's change those things back. But this is a team that can make things work. I'm confident. Quietly. A few debuts being made today against Plymouth. As I said, this is the opportunity for these players who... we're going to need them to turn up big in the league. If we can't beat Plymouth, there is absolutely no hope, and we might as well pack up our bags and leave. I'm trying to think what county Burnley's in, and I want to get this right. Is it Lancashire? I don't think it is Lancashire. I don't know what county Burnley is in within the British Isles, well, within England. I apologise to all people from Burnley watching this. Brady, back post. I mean, Barnes hits the woodwork. Can we get the rebound? No. I mean, the good news is we've hit the woodwork early on. Man, if we lose to Plymouth, I might just resign. That is actually like a thought in my head right now. If we can't beat these guys, there's absolutely no hope for us. Let's not think like that. We are going to beat them. It's going to happen. Lowton to Barnes. Now with Westwood. What can you do, Westwood? To Andy. Was it It was Andy. Now with Sammy. Charlie Taylor whips it in. Look at that. Look at that. Barnes is 10th of the season. I mean, it's our first ever goal. Drink it in, everyone. Just remember the feeling you're feeling right now. This is how we're going to feel when we stay up. Good to see Sammy involved in the build-up play. I'm going to praise our signs. I mean, we're beating... What league are Plymouth in? League 1. They're 7th in League 1, so they're a good League 1 side. Have we just given away... We've just given away a penalty. My head is in my hand. It was going too well. Number 10 for Plymouth steps up. It's going to be Carey. What can he do? I mean, Heaton's got a good hand to it, but it's found its way into the back of the net. How long were we in the lead for? I wish I'd savoured that feeling a little bit longer. How long were we in the lead for? We were in the lead for 1 minute and 40 seconds. Can I get an ooh? Ooh. I mean, you guys can write it in the comments too, but you're not going to. Westwood, what can you do? Back post. Headed away, but only as far as Sammy. Now with Gibson. Now with me. Look at Sammy's involved in everything. Remember the name. Brady, hit that. There we go. Sammy got a secondary assist on a first. Now he's assisted Brady. It's his first goal of the season. That's the confidence builder for Brady. Maybe. I hope it's the confidence builder. I hope it's going to spur him on to do more because we need him to score goals in on the left-hand side. Nice finish. Part of me wants to say, and there's a reason I don't want to say it, but part of me wants to say at least the tactic we've got is getting some goals. Albeit against a League 1 team. I mean, Casado, I need you to step up, my friend. I need you to show what you're all about. Show that you like the hokey cokey and you're what it's all about. Show us it. Ball dink to him, doesn't quite make its way through. Carey wins it. I mean, they're through. Ladapo, surely not. He's put it wide. If they'd equalised, it would be getting a little bit embarrassing. It is a tiny bit concerning that we're not dominating this game more. I'm going to make some changes regardless. Casado, not a debut to remember. I'm going to keep him on. He's going to turn it around. We're going to take off Sammy for Hendrick just because of the fitness situation. Let's bring in McNeil for Barnes, who's scored, and then put McNeil as pressing forward and Casado at target man. What can we make happen here? Hendrick plays the ball out to Gibson. Options. Options. Hendrick, look at that. Look at that. This is what we're going to do in the league. We're going to be fine. We've weathered the storm that was Man City. We've got Watford next. They're going really strong. We need to beat them. But at least here and now, in the FA Cup, in the People's Cup, we're going through against League One opposition. The fact that I'm this happy about beating Plymouth 3-1 is hopefully showing a bit of perspective. If I don't celebrate it, I'm going to cry. Look, we might not win another game all season, guys. I need to remain positive. Lemeiras to Sonogo. Or Songo, no. Who knows? Lemeiras whips it in. Freddie Lepad. I mean, how good are you, Freddie? He's not great, is he? He scored. I mean, we can't lose this. Surely not. This is not how this game's going to end. I'm confident. We're going to score. It's going to be fine. In some ways, just winning this game by any means necessary would be nice as a little bit of a confidence builder. Casado, look at him. He's going to get his first goal for the club today. I can feel it. It's going to happen. Number 9, back to Westwood. Nice build-up play here. Lowton. Andy's in the middle. Andy's there. Look at that. Difference maker. Hero. I'm trying to work out how you'd actually say his name. Maybe Hulsager? We'll call him Andy. It's easy. We've got Sammy and Andy. Lowton, nice ball in. On the volley. First goal of the season. I don't care if it's against Perth. That's one of my transfers making a difference. That's what I'm going to claim at the very least. I mean, can we get a few more? It's kind of concerning that we've only had one half chance and they've had 2 clear-cut chances. Although McNeil's through probably should be finishing that. Probably. And by probably, I mean he definitely should be. Brady goes to... I mean, it's a poor ball to Andy, in truth, by Brady there. Hendrick now on this right-hand side. Whips it in. Mees there. Wins the header. Headed away to Fox. I mean, Westwood with the unnecessarily forceful challenge. He's already on a booking. Should I be concerned that Plymouth are on the attack here? A little. Jeff Cott. I mean, Mee has just murdered a man, but apparently he won the ball, so we're not going to complain. Casado, can you get there? He can. Gives it to McNeil, who's through. Can he finish it? No. No, he can't. I'm just wondering in terms of team instructions. Yeah, this is the higher pressing tactic. Just surprised that they're having more of the ball than us. You can see, just in general, the statistics are kind of in our favour, but ultimately, we've only created the one clear-cut chance, which against League One opposition. I want to joke about it. I want to be like, it's not that big of a deal. It is a little bit concerning. But we've won. And we needed a win. Who knows, maybe with a few players back and a bit of a rest now, things are going to get a little bit easier for us here. But I don't know, it's going to be a challenge, I feel like, but we're going to give it our best shot and hope that that is good enough today. Anyway, we've got to now shift our attention forward, I guess, to the game against Watford. I'm surprised that Watford are struggling as well. Apparently Kevin Long is unhappy with his lack of first-team football. Heaton, can you resolve it again? I mean, Heaton's doing everything for us. He's literally the MVP of the series so far. But man, we need to beat Watford. We have to beat Watford. We do. We are away for it as well. So with that in mind, I think we will play the more kind of cautious system. I'm glad that Andy's got a goal, but we do definitely need him to build off it. Also hoping that some of these transfers that we're looking at doing are going to be through by the Watford game. If not for just having a bit of a, you know, plan B, I guess. Because it's just not something that we have right now. Been pretty unfortunate with injuries, it feels like, as well. I should have noticed that Sisto was injured. That one is on me, but just everything else has been not so great. We've got a backup goalkeeper here who is just having lots of bids on him. He doesn't look very good, so we'll just let him go out. FA Cup 5th round. Give us a nice easy draw, because the board expectation is to reach the 5th round. We've got Watford at home. I mean, apparently we've just got like some kind of weird like attraction to Watford that I wasn't previously aware of. Hanani is looking like he's going to join us. Like Sisto, lacks a bit of consistency, but he's just a good wide player. And unfortunately, that's kind of what we need. £3.2 million is not a massive amount of money either. Do I feel like now we've got the wide midfield areas kind of solved? No, would be the honest answer. I think maybe we have now. Let's just analyse this, because I'm a bit conscious of the fact we've brought in a few new faces. Maybe we're solved in the wide areas now. If we just look at the squad depth here, loads of striking options, fantastic. Yeah, you can see here in the wide areas we're a lot better than we were. We've got Sisto who can play on the left. We've got Andy who can play on the left and right. Obviously, we've just signed Hanani as well, who I do definitely rate. We'll train him to play right mid as an inverted winger, I think. I think that's definitely a role that he could play quite adequately. Very, very quick. Likes to cut in from the right-hand side. Kind of well suited to it. I am wondering if instead of the really defensive system that we have here, if I should, just as a plan B, have the Arsenal Invincible system just on the back burner as an option. Because I know it works in Football Manager and can do a job. And we are actually like getting to a stage now where actually we have quite a few players who could be reasonably adequate inverted wingers on both sides. So I think with that in mind, we might approach things with that. I might want to reset up my best 11 now that I think about it, just because this is prior to all the transfers happening. I mean, the good news is our bench is going to look significantly stronger. You know, we're actually going to have plan Bs on it, which is something that we were certainly lacking. The fact that Stephen Duthor's available again is good news as well. Good little deep line playmaker. Perhaps a little limited in his play. You can see here just a leading player for championship sides. There's just a lack of quality. Obviously, the injuries probably haven't helped him out a great deal. I mean, in some ways, we've almost got too much wide attacking talent now, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's good to have just more than enough players out wide in the wide areas. Sisto we could even train to play potentially as a striker. That is the other option. Hanani can also semi-play. We've got just different things we can approach things here. Andy is also a good little kind of playmakery player in the midfield. Could definitely play a role as a centre mid. How is he as a Mazzala? I mean, he's adequate in a lot of areas. I like him. I like you, Andy. When we're fully fit, how will we approach things? I feel like we'll have Sisto at on the right-hand side instead of Brady. Then Goodmanson on the right. Would I stick with Westwood and Hendrick, or would I bring in Defour? That's probably worth just having a look at the comparison, actually, because I don't think they're actually a world apart, Ashley Westwood and Defour. You can see Defour's just a better creative player, not quite as good defensively. But that actual creativity comes largely from flair, so it's a bit of a false reading. You can see Defour only has 11 passing, so he's not actually that great. I kind of want to try and sell him on. He's valued at 23 million. I mean, is it mad that I want to try and sell him on? Maybe, but I'm going to do it. You can't stop me. So in terms of players coming in, we've got Walker-Peters, and then we've potentially got Samper, and we've potentially got Brugman. If Walker-Peters doesn't need to be registered because of his age, that would be very, very useful, because otherwise we might have a bit of a dilemma when it comes to the actual squad registration. Although, I guess we could unregister Pope, potentially, and just have Joe Hart. Although Pope's younger, maybe I need to sell Hart on, because he's complaining about lack of first-team football. I'll tell you what, let's offer him out for 10 million and see if anyone wants him. But yeah, this Watford game coming up is going to be massive for us. So Jonathan Walters is going to join Swansea. I want to tell you I'm heartbroken, but it would be a lie. There's been some more offers for Walker-Peters. Bloody Sunderland! I mean, is it concerning that Sunderland in League One want the same player as me? Am I aiming too low? I don't think so. Do I want to sign Brugman? He's a good centre mid. I almost want to delay it a week. I'd quite like to sell Vidra still. I don't think anyone's going to want him. I'm hoping he's not going to kick up a fuss about me trying to force him out of the team. Whether or not he will, we will find out very shortly, I guess. I'm half anticipating him to, but I want to remain positive. I want to believe that he wouldn't do that to me. He's not that kind of guy. He's better than that. Do I want to bring in Sergio Samper? See, he's better than Defour as far as I'm concerned. I mean, he just is. Just better technicals. I don't mind the defending and mentals not being so good. It's unfortunate that he's over the age of 21. I wonder if there's any players who are age at most 20. You see, someone like Ben Woodburn, we wouldn't need to register. So is it worth just trying to get him in on loan? Then he wants £6,000 of his wages covered. I mean, given the fact that he's not going to cause us any issues when it comes to our squad registration, there's almost nothing to lose. Fernando Torres is available. I mean, is that a mad idea? Is that too crazy? Fernando Torres. Is this really what this is coming to? We're looking at signing Fernando Torres. How much does he want a week? 52. I can offer you 33, Fernando. If you get a certain amount of goals, I can give you a big rise. I'll give you a 3-year contract. I mean, he's not told us to piss off yet. I don't think he's going to play for the Spain national team anymore. I mean, is that a genius move, or is this the stupidest idea I've ever had? He broke his toe recently. That's a random sentence, just say. He broke his toe recently, like this season. I mean, have you ever wanted to see Fernando Torres in a Burnley strip? Because I have. I've laid there at night before with my eyes closing and what do I want to see? And then Fernando Torres appeared to me. He actually looks really good as well. Vidra drops lack of first team concern. Does anyone want Vidra? Any interest? Nice want him potentially on loan. I mean, given the fact that I'm just trying to get rid of him so that I don't have to, because he's not going to be registered, but I don't want him to be unhappy. Nice, I hope you're willing to pay his wages. Nice have money. They'll be fine. They'll want to pay his wages. Okay, they don't want to pay his wages, but they'll take him on loan. You know what? You can have him. Because he's nowhere near as good as our Fernando. And actually, Ben Woodburn is probably just a better player. Yeah, Ben Woodburn is miles better and won't need to be registered because of his age. Torres, I mean, it's a genius transfer. How highly did my scouts recommend it? 70 foot, they were sure. And I'm sure. Fernando Torres, welcome to Burnley. Welcome. Man, this has taken a turn, hasn't it? Right. We're taking on Watford here. I should look at this team and work out what my best 11 is. I think I'm going to approach it without having loads of coverage on the bench, actually. We need to register Fernando. Peter Crouch is sat there thinking, we could be reunited together, you know, the old Liverpool dream team. It's not happening. I'm sorry, Peter. I don't want to shut down your dreams. It's just not happening today. I mean, I'm going to be honest, if we just compare him to Ashley Barnes, I mean, he's just better. Look how good he is. Is it mad that part of me wants to play the Arsenal kind of attacking system with the inverted wingers? The only issue really being is the fact that at least right now both of our natural inverted wingers are injured. Is this what I consider my best team, like in terms of the bench and everything? I think it probably is. We're going to save this as the best 11, just going forward. I'm hoping that Fernando Torres is going to get goals for us. He looks absolutely awesome. So, due to injuries, we're going to have a few different players playing here. Hanani's going to play on the right. Sisto is going to come off for Andy. And that's going to mean that McNeil comes in. Therefore, we definitely need on the bench. See, we're still kind of short of a centre mid. Although the shortage of a centre mid is almost born out of all the injuries we've got. I think we'll have Long on the bench just so we've got a backup right back. Okay, so we've got players who are going to have an impact here, I hope, especially out wide. Hanani making his debut in the league. Andy making his debut in the league. Fernando Torres making his debut. Then on the bench, you know, we've got Casado, who could come in and have an impact. I mean, let's look at our transfer business so far. It's not the biggest net spend in the world, is it? But 6 signings already. Some would call it panic signings. I think they're just wise deals. I just think, thinking about it, we probably want to have Sammy, don't we? Just as another centre mid option. Just for if the injuries get particularly bad, we've got coverage. We've not got any kind of left or right midfielders currently available because Sisto's out for 12 days to 2 weeks, Gudmundsson's out for 7 days to 2 weeks, and Aaron Lennon's out for 3 to 6 weeks. But normally we'd have plenty of coverage, but we've just kind of got to deal with it as best we can. I guess we've got Brady who can play out on the left and we could just shuffle players around if we get injuries. But anyway, let's get into this. Fernando Torres lacking match sharpness. That's not a concern of mine. Although, what is a concern of mine is that I think Torres is currently playing as a pressing forward and I don't think we're going to play him as a pressing forward. I'm thinking that we change our roles. Right, tactics here. This is the more attacking system we're currently playing. Do I want to play the more attacking system? Maybe I do. Maybe we just want to go for it today and see what we can do. I'll tell you what, I'm going to switch Taylor to play on support. We've tried asymmetry. It's not worked with the wing-backs. So let's go with wing-backs on support and see how that serves us. Anyway, we need a win here. Watford in 18th. We're in 20th. This is the relegation dogfight. And Decore scored a screamer. I mean, what do I do about it? I don't know if there's anything you can do about that kind of goal. Do I immediately just switch to the Arsenal system here? I mean, it just fits our players and makes sense. Hanani's left-footed on the right. Andy's either-footed. He's playing on the left. Hendrick can play as the box-box midfielder. You know what? We're going to do it. Torres is going to be our bird camp. We need a win. This system is largely untested, but when it has worked, it's worked a treat. And I'm hoping it's going to work a treat here with these players. Now, Burnley, not quite the 2003-04 Invincibles. But we have a rare and a slightly uncommon amount of inverted wingers who I think can make it work. Where is Fernando? All right, Fernando, you've got no hair, Fernando. What happened to you? What have they done to my boy? Pereira tries to get it in. Hanani, nice play by Lowton to block it. Now can we make something happen, boys? Hanani, you need to be our Pires. Hendrick, big ball over to Wood. He's scored a lot this year. Can he add another? No, he puts it the wrong side of the post, but it's a good opportunity. We created something. That hasn't happened all that often. I mean, statistically, Watford are playing a lot better than us. But we hit them on the break once and it almost worked out for us. Half an hour gone here. They're still 1 goal up through that Decore wonder goal. Westwood to Lowton. We need a draw here at the very least. We can't let them pull away from us. Hendrick tries to get the ball forward to Fernando. Chase it, Fernando. Run like the wind. I mean, he's not quite as quick as he used to be as Fernando Torres. Just feel like he's so technically gifted and so creative. He's going to bring other players into it with his wisdom. Isaac's success is through. Nice stop, Heaton. Yes, more of that. Delafeo, though, whips it in. We still haven't got this clear. Now with Hughes. I mean, just get it out, please. I'm now begging with the players. Desperate times have called for desperate measures. I'm hoping that Fernando Torres can do something in this game. He's been a bit quiet, to be fair to him. He's got a better rating than Wood. That's not saying a great deal. You weren't bad, but you can improve. I'm going to tell the strikers, I've got faith in you. Look at that. Chris Wood loves it. Heaton's not a fan of my team talks, is what I've learned. But that's okay. We can't all be fans of me. Right, second half. They scored in the first minute, that wonder goal. It was so good. It's not much of a kind of consolation for me now, but it was a good goal. We're going to go more attacking here. We're going to try and play a little bit more direct, a little bit more attacking. In possession. Let's go more direct with our play, please, boys. Can we make something happen? That's the question. Deeney with it. Now with Pereira. I mean, I'm a little bit scared that Watford have the ball here in our half. Maybe we can hit them on the counter. Delafeu. Charlie Taylor, very narrow there. Ball switched over to Deeney. Headed clear. Only as far as the court. I thought he was going to score another. I was getting ready to stand up and just turn away and walk away from my screen. Lots of these chances are starting in our own half, which I don't know if is a good sign or a bad sign. I mean, it's a good sign if Hernani can put through Wood. What a ball that was, an attempt. I thought it was through. I thought he was through. It wasn't a good ball. I take it all back. I'm going to be biased to all my own signings and just blame all the current Burnley players. Hernani, lovely run. Dispossessed, falls to Torres. Hendrick, don't shoot. Plays the ball to Taylor. Nice play. Andy crosses it in to Hernani. Wing to wing. Hernani, Torres scores! Fernando Torres. Fernando. We brought him in from Japan. He's a bit jet-lagged because he only landed today. But the fans already love him. And it's Hernani with the assist on his debut as well. Now we need to try and take this momentum and score again. We've gone a little bit more direct. We've gone a little more attacking. It's worked for us. Maybe should be looking to make some subs here with 20 minutes left. But there's another chance already. Wood to West. I mean, where's Fernando? Lovely ball to Lowton. Floated in. Wood's there. Wood! Oh, just wide of the post. A free header. A really good opportunity. Probably should be hitting the target. Tell you what, we're going to take off Wood and we're going to bring in Casado. Westwood, I'm going to take off for Defoe. And Andy has not had the best game, so we'll bring in Brady for him on the left-hand side. Want to get some fresh legs into the final third. Watch Andy now get an insane assist. Now I've said we're taking him off. Or he can just do that. It's with Hernani, though. It's not over. Just half expecting it to fall to Fernando Torres at every opportunity now. No, they've dealt with this, to be fair to them. This is the pointless highlight game that I don't need to sit. Or do I? Hernani. Why did you not square it, you wazzock? Lowton to Hendrick. There's still time. I still believe. Westwood, Hendrick, Torres, Westwood. Wide to Lowton. Back to Westwood. Hendrick. Wood. That's a penalty. That's a penalty. We'll take that. What can we do here? Fernando Torres steps up. He scores. He's a genius. Take a bow. Take a bow. I mean, we will celebrate that like it's the best goal ever scored. 2 goals on his debut. Is Fernando Torres about to save us? That is the question. Should I go more defensive? We'll go positive. Not more defensive, just positive. I mean, time's just trickling away here. We're going to take this. 2-1. What a turnaround. What a debut. Hernani to Hendrick to Torres. And, well, what a result. What a result. 2-1. Welcome back to the Premier League, Fernando Torres. You might not have the pace that you used to have, but you're still a pretty good footballer. And we saw that today. That is huge for us. Hopefully now we can kick on and make things work. We're only 4 points away from Huddersfield. I mean, suddenly it seems doable again. Granted, we probably need to get results now against Southampton and Wolves in the league. But we will cross those bridges when we get there. And for right here and now, I'm just going to celebrate it. Torres makes his return. Makes his return to English football. Just as everyone imagined it was going to be. 2 goals. Nice return. Welcome back, Fernando. Hopefully, he's going to be the game. He's going to galvanise us, I believe. Right, I'm maybe getting a little carried away here, but I am very, very excited by Fernando Torres. And I'm excited to see what he can maybe do for us in terms of saving our season. Anyway, I mean, Hernani did a job too, as did Andy. There's lots of people have contributed, haven't they, really? Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap things up here. Hopefully you have enjoyed today's episode. If you have, do drop a like on it. I will see you again soon with episode number 4. And yeah, see you again next time. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.